Hello everybody, welcome to the Neutral Centrist, your one-stop destination for daily news that matters. I'm your host Adnan Adel, and our top stories are: as the Israeli ground assault continues in central Gaza's Khan Yunis, death toll has now reached 16,200 since October 7th. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy resigns from Congress. Reflects on 17 years journey and controversial exit. Senate deadlock threatens aid to Ukraine and Israel over Republican demands for border restrictions. Trump said he would not abuse power in White House except for day one. Capitol attack footage release sparks privacy debate. Biden's surprising election strategy unveiled. President says he's not sure if he wants to run again. If Donald Trump is not also running. Biden condemns sexual assault in the October 7th Hamas attack. This and many more. The Senate faced a crisis regarding aid for Ukraine and Israel. President Biden urgently sought to support these countries, but Republicans demanded strict border security measures in exchange for approving the $110 billion emergency spending bill. During a briefing aimed at garnering support, tension soared as Republicans accused Democrats of overlooking their border security demands. This clash hinted at the imminent failure of the aid bill and dashed hopes for a bipartisan agreement. Blocking aid could signal weakened U.S. commitment to Ukraine's struggle against Russia's Putin. Democrats like Senator Christopher S. Murphy warned that politicizing aid risked abandoning Ukraine. On the other hand, Republicans, while supportive of helping Ukraine, insisted that addressing border security was crucial. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham highlighted the importance of aiding Ukraine, but emphasized that real border security was essential, linking it to a significant national security concern. The impasse threatened the critical aid and showcased the divide over balancing foreign assistance with domestic security concerns. Former President Donald Trump, during a town hall in Iowa with Fox News' Sean Hannity, responded to a question about abusing power by stating that except for day one, he would not act like a dictator. He mentioned using presidential authority on day one to close southern border with Mexico and also expand oil drilling. These remarks have raised concerns among Democrats, with Biden's campaign manager expressing worries about Trump's intentions if re-elected. Trump's plan for a second term, including firing federal staff and targeting rivals, have become a significant talking point for Biden's campaign. Biden himself has warned about the risk to democracy in 2024 if Trump and his allies continue their actions. Trump's decision to skip a Republican debate in favor of a fundraiser in Florida comes amid his dominance over rivals both nationally and in Iowa ahead of the caucuses on January 15. Heavy bombardment in central Gaza has resulted in numerous casualties, with thousands fleeing to areas west and south of Khan Yunis. Humanitarian conditions in southern Gaza have worsened as Israel advises civilians to relocate to areas like Rafah and El Mawasi, despite ongoing strikes and inadequate infrastructure. The United Nations has distributed aid in Rafah but faced difficulties in providing help elsewhere due to the collapse of a 7-day truce and fighting between Israel and Hamas. Civilians fleeing to Al Mawasi found minimal resources, resorting to makeshift shelters to survive amid approaching winter. Israeli military operations in Khan Yunis have intensified, leading to house-to-house battles with Hamas fighters, causing a severe humanitarian crisis. Israeli commanders warned against using the main highway due to intense fighting, advising refugees to take the coastal road, although communication disruptions might hinder this information dissemination. Recent satellite imagery reveals heavy military presence on both sides of Salah al-Din Road near Khan Yunis. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will leave Congress by the end of this year. He's been in the office for 17 years and talked about his achievements in the article. McCarthy was removed from his speaker position after only 9 months for upsetting some fellow Republicans by working with Democrats on a spending bill. He mentioned that despite challenges, he believes in doing what's right for the American people. McCarthy feels content with his journey in Congress and leaves without regrets, mentioning he gave his all. His departure will reduce the House GOP's majority, which had already lessened due to the expulsion of another member, George Santos, from New York. House Speaker Mike Johnson plans to release footage of Capitol attack on January 6, but he wants to blur faces to protect individuals from potential retaliation and legal consequences. Johnson aims to ensure that rioters don't don't face prosecution. Despite ongoing federal investigations and prosecutions, Johnson emphasizes the need to safeguard the privacy of those involved. The Justice Department has already requested public assistance in identifying additional individuals from the event of that day. Johnson previously pledged to make the footage accessible to the public, but the process of blurring faces has slowed down the release. President Biden is thinking about being president again, but he's not sure if he wants to do it if Trump is not also running. He's worried that if Trump runs again, he might win. This surprised the people helping Biden with his campaign, but they say Biden is serious about stopping Trump. Right now, President Biden is working hard to get money for his campaign. In the ads you see on TV, he talks a lot about healthcare and making medicine cheaper. They are also hiring people in important places, but they are being careful with how they spend money. They're doing a lot of things to get ready for the election. While speaking at a fundraising event in Boston, President Biden said that he condemns the quote-unquote unimaginable cruelty of Hamas attackers who raped and mutilated women in Israel on 7th October. Biden said Hamas fighters used rape to terrorize women and girls on October 7th as they went through towns and a music festival in the southern part of Israel, killing more than 1,200 people according to Israeli authorities. While Hamas has denied the accusation of rape, the United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk called for a thorough investigation into these allegations. A series of shootings occurred across central Texas, primarily in Austin on Tuesday, resulting in multiple casualties. The suspect responsible for these incidents was apprehended and charged with capital murder. The shootings occurred at 4 locations in Austin, with a possible link to a separate homicide in San Antonio. The relationship between the suspect and the victims remains unknown. The first shooting wounded an Austin school district officer, and a subsequent double homicide happened later that morning in a different area. The injured officer was reported to be in a stable condition. The authorities are investigating potential connections between the suspect and the various incidents. These were our top stories. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.